For Pacifica Radio, I'm Eileen Alfandary. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aiming to slash public subsidies to PBS and NPR. He accuses them of bias. The order instructs the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and other federal agencies to stop direct funding for NPR and PBS and further requires they work to root out indirect sources of public financing. Member stations which air NPR and PBS programs typically pay dues and fees. The White House, in a social media posting announcing the order, said that NPR and PBS receive millions from taxpayers to spread, quote, radical woke propaganda disguised as news. NPR's president told lawmakers at a congressional hearing last month the news organization is not biased. The Committee to Protect Journalists has called NPR and PBS essential public services for millions of Americans. Trump's attempt to defund the two public broadcasters is his latest attack on the media, which has included multi-billion-dollar lawsuits against major commercial broadcasters. Organizers of the Freedom Flotilla carrying desperately needed humanitarian aid to Gaza say drones attacked their vessel while it was in international waters off Malta. Malta's government said a fire broke out but was brought under control. No injuries were reported. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition is blaming Israel for the attack. The ship was carrying 12 crew members and 4 civilians, but dozens more international activists had assembled in Malta to join the flotilla and head to Gaza. One of them is the Swedish activist Greta Thunberg.
For 2 months now, not a single bottle of water has entered Gaza, and it's a systematic starvation of 2 million people. Us human rights activists will continue to do everything in our power to do our part to demand a free Palestine and demand the opening of a humanitarian corridor.
The attack on the boat comes as aid groups have warned the humanitarian response in Gaza is on the verge of collapse and that children already are dying of malnutrition. Michael Ryan is the deputy director of the World Health Organization.
We are breaking the bodies and the minds of the children of Gaza. We are starving the children of Gaza because if we don't do something about it, we are complicit in what is happening before our very eyes. We are complicit.
U.S. employers added a better-than-expected 177,000 jobs in April as the job market showed resilience in the face of President Trump's trade wars. The Labor Department reported the official unemployment rate remained at a relatively low rate of 4.2%. Yet many economists are predicting the U.S. job market will deteriorate in the face of Trump's tariffs. Hundreds of thousands of people rallied in U.S. cities and around the globe on International Workers' Day, May Day, with the focus this year on President Donald Trump and his policies targeting immigrants, federal workers, and democracy itself. But Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis used the May Day holiday to tout the more than 1,100 people arrested in his state during a week-long sweep targeting undocumented immigrants called Operation Tidal Wave.
This is the largest immigration enforcement operation that we've seen in quite some time throughout the entire country. Florida state agencies assisted federal authorities to arrest over 1,100 illegal aliens across the state. That is a really significant impact.
DeSantis vowed this is just the beginning. A Florida law requires local police agencies to work with federal immigration officials to round up and detain suspected undocumented immigrants. The Florida Immigrant Coalition said authorities show no evidence that those they detained had committed crimes against the public. The Immigration Coalition added that, quote, DeSantis and ICE are dodging the truth. The story they are not telling is they are ignoring due process, ripping families apart. Vice President J.D. Vance says the Trump administration will aggressively appeal the ruling of a Texas federal judge barring officials from deporting any Venezuelans from South Texas under an 18th century wartime law. District Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. ruled that President Trump's invocation of the Alien Enemies Act was unlawful. He is the first judge to rule the law cannot be used against people whom the administration claims are gang members invading the United States. The judge was appointed by Trump. ACLU attorney Lee part of the judge's ruling.
The executive branch can't just thumb their nose at what Congress is doing. Congress put very specific guidelines in. It says we have to be at war or being invaded by a foreign country or threatened. The judge said under no circumstances are we being invaded by this criminal gang, and said now you cannot use this law again. They're going to appeal, but this is a critical first step in what's going to be a
Pacifica Radio.